Hello, this is Russell from
Tones of Evil.
and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. In a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there are threats too great for one hero to face alone. And on that day, when that threat comes, there will rise a team of Avengers. This is Avengers Declassified.
Who are you?
Greetings. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pits.
Phil, Podcast Perich.
Straight from the pit. Yes. Long theme music, Phil.
I know. We're almost done. All right.
Okay. Tonight's episode, we were discussing Doctor Strange, issue 60.
Yes.
And I can't remember what the title of it was.
Well, I'll give you that, too. You want me to give you the whole rundown on this?
Yes. Give us the total, the title.
All right.
You do.
All right, so Doctor Strange, Volume 2, Number 60, Assault on Avengers Mansion.
Yes.
Cover date, August 1983. Writer, Roger Stern. Penciler, Dan Green. Inker, Terry Austin. Colorist, Bob Sharon. Letterer, Janice Chiang. Editor, Alan Milgram. And Editor-in-Chief, Jim Shooter. Yeah.
Pittsburgh Zone. What can I say? This is a very apt comic book for us to be reviewing at this day and time. It involves that nerd Dracula. Who's just looking for a book, like all nerds.
Okay, here. All right, the brief summary. Doctor Strange's search for the location of the Darkhold leads him to pay an astral visit to the Scarlet Witch. Sound familiar? The last to see it. She tells him that it's stored in Avengers Mansion. When Strange flies off, mentioning that the power of the Darkhold may yet be neutralized, she decides to head for the mansion herself to see if she can help. Dracula and the Darkholders launch a full-on assault on the mansion, with only Doctor Strange, Hannibal King, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Scarlet Witch around to defend it. Dracula nearly reaches the book, but at the last moment, Strange manages to teleport it away to a location he hopes, with enough dark power that will mask it will be masked by an existing aura of dark magic. Castle Mordo.
Bum bum bum. Yeah. Wow, that is a very detailed synopsis. So, spoilers. No, that's good. So first off, Strange is a bit insufferable in this. We talk about that from time to time, and they actually even called it out in the most recent Death of Doctor Strange. Just, wow, I used to talk like that? That was weird. Mm-hmm. That was weird that I used to talk like that. You always got the feeling he was putting on airs, because he's the master of the mystic art, master of black magic.
Well, I think I said something to Lilith like a few weeks ago. I'm like, you know how Zatanna says it does her magic by saying stuff backwards? It seems like Doctor Strange uses alliteration.
Or that's just common for Marvel, and I think that's just Stan Lee.
Oh yeah, of course. So you could remember it.
Just something that Stan Lee sort of did there,
So you could remember all the words, yeah.
But it's interesting. It's interesting on a lot of levels. First off, with the Darkholders, who as we say, have teamed up with Dracula. By the way, I have never met Hannibal King before this issue. And I kind of wish I'd seen more of Hannibal King. I will need to go back and read some of the earlier issues to see what Hannibal King's story is.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I haven't read any like stories this old. I know he does. He shows up again in like the 90s and stuff, and like all that like Midnight Sun stuff. So, but I wonder if he like. Yeah. I wonder if he was. I know Blade premiered in Tomb of Dracula. I wonder if Hannibal King showed up there.
Probably. He seems like from the description we're getting of him, he is a vampire.
Yes.
But he's like a forever night vampire. He's not eating people. He's like, I've never drank the blood of any living thing, which, so not even mice. He just gets the blood bags and, lets people die because they didn't have the blood at the blood bank.
Yes.
But,
all right, I looked it up. Yes, his first appearance, was Tomb of Dracula 25 from October 1974.
Okay.
And it's saying, Night Stalkers and Midnight Suns, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he's interesting, and here he has come in contact with Doctor Strange, who has, speaking of Doctor Strange and the ladies, he has a secretary in this named Sarah.
Yes.
Which I guess is interesting just in the idea that, Doctor Strange has a secretary. I guess it makes sense that Doctor Strange would have a secretary, but that, from what I can tell, she seems to be a temp. Which is interesting. He is on his astral journey. He goes to visit, New Jersey, not Westview, but,
well, yeah, because that's where Vision and Scarlet Witch were living, and they had like a 4-issue miniseries, then like a 12-issue series, it was...
Yeah, and this is where, she's discussing when she got possessed by the Darkhold. In fact, he even makes a statement, it was less that I possessed the Darkhold, that the Darkhold possessed me. Mm-hmm. Which, again, as we said, as we know that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is out this week, that is the idea that book infects you, which you would know if you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
People need to know, don't look in the book. But in this story, Dracula's minions, the Darkholders, have basically gotten every hobo and gang member off the streets by promising them $50, and then they don't pay them. That's why Moon Knight's coming. He's like, "Where's my money, nerd?"
He promised me
one of the hobos.
He promised Crowley $50.
Yeah, exactly. But Dracula, of course, mesmerizes his horde.
Yes.
The horde he has to memorize. The rats just come because that's their thing. It strikes me that probably just sending wave after wave of rats into the mansion might have accomplished a lot of what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
But, and this is your classic attack from the front, sneaking through the rear, because it's just this wave of cannon fodder that gets, of course, mostly disabled by the defenses of the mansion. Although, again, interesting that just wave after wave does overwhelm it, and the people do get further in. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Dracula himself is busting into the submarine bay underneath Avengers Mansion. Boy, I'm sure that did not have permits. That's all I'm saying.
Well, again, that they mentioned, because I think this is before Hydro Base, so it's like they're like, I think they even call it out there, like, the Avengers used this like when they first formed, but no one's used this submarine bay in a long time.
Yeah, but he comes up to the submarine bay and he can sense the Darkhold. He knows it's there. Mm-hmm. But of course, Doctor Strange has also found the Darkhold and needs to find a way to deal with it. And of course, when he opens it, he cannot believe what he sees. It is horrific because it's the Darkhold.
Yes.
We have the Scarlet Witch show up. She uses, and of course, we have a fight against all the hobos, the hobo fight, if you will, with Captain Marvel, the Scarlet Witch, and Hannibal King beating up the hobos, which, gotta admit they're kind of outmatched. And, of course, fending off the Darkholders, although they find that as they defeat the hobos that the Darkholders lose their power because the power, as with all cults, their power is based on their membership. And as they lose members, they lose followers, they lose their power. Then Dracula is confronted by 3 different Doctor Stranges, Phil.
Yes.
And, of course, he assumes this must be a glamour, but they are real. And how is it possible one even has strength that matches his own? But as it does turn out, it is a glamour, but not one of mere illusion, but to project the image of Doctor Strange upon Monica Rambeau, the Scarlet Witch, and
Hannibal King, yeah.
And Hannibal King. They get in there. Once Doctor Strange has dealt with the Darkhold, he has been taxed, and that causes the glamour to fall, and Dracula can see what is really going on. Of course, when he goes to confront them, they basically say, "Look, man, we called all the Avengers; they're coming." Because he says he can still beat up all of them, which I don't think is really true. Because one of them is literally made of light, and even though you can go out in the sunlight, Dracula, I think it hurts you.
Oh yeah, because that's what Monica even says. She goes, "I can turn to UV and stuff even worse." So yeah, I wouldn't try anything.
Yeah, it's like I actually think you're pretty much outmatched, Dracula. I mean, not for nothing, a guy with a sword has killed you in the past. So,
and again, the longer you hold the Scarlet Witch, isn't the Vision going to show up? And I mean, isn't he solar powered? If he starts shooting with that beam out of his head, I mean, you're.
Oh yeah, and quite frankly, yeah. If Vision shows up, which I was actually a little disappointed because I think he's alive at this point.
Oh yeah. I think they're still married at this point. This is before White Vision. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved gets wanted, but I guess maybe it was his bowling night. Just, because they were very much into that suburban lifestyle, So he's at the lanes, rolling the ball. It's actually a great reference in One Star Squadron this week with Red Tornado. That kind of fits that idea of suburban vision. But anyway, I think he is outmatched, but he says he can handle it. But really, he's afraid of Thor because they mentioned in the editor's note. Yeah, he's recently had an encounter with Thor. So yeah, I would imagine Thor would be very hard on a guy like Dracula.
Oh yeah,
because he has lightning powers, and that's not good. Also, he is super strong, and it has a magic rock that is going to hit you.
Oh, if it's the one I'm thinking about, I think he went after Sif. So yeah, Thor's going to be not happy.
Yeah, and he does not have the power to face off against Thor right now. So he does the whole bye, and he just nopes out. And then you get that Doctor Strange's master plan was to transport. Again, to Transylvania, which, we're trying to hide it from vampires. I know, let's send it to Transylvania.
I get the whole plan. It's like, oh yeah, there's such a veil of dark magic there that it should mask the signal of the Darkhold. But I'm like, isn't Dracula from Transylvania? You literally just didn't he just transport it into his backyard?
Yeah, but he also doesn't teleport.
Yeah.
He can't, bats don't fly that fast, so he can't get back to Transylvania as fast as theoretically Doctor Strange or Monica Rambeau or Quinjet could. You know?
And it is Mordo's castle. I don't know if he's trespassing in Mordo's castle or not.
Well, yeah, and I guess Mordo is dead at this point, so that's why he feels it's safe there. Because otherwise, that would be kind of a dumb idea.
Exactly.
I put the Darkhold in the library of my most sworn enemy, but I assume he's dead. Which, not for nothing, not a good assumption. Generally speaking, not a good assumption in comic books.
Exactly.
I would have sent it to the Baxter Building first. Yes. Oh, that was the other reference in in Doctor Strange was the Baxter Foundation.
Oh yes,
which is actually a reference to Fan Four Stick.
Oh yeah.
So it all comes right around. It is interesting. But yeah, in this moment, they have now decided that they have to go to Transylvania, and that's going to be next issue. But and I don't know if Scarlet Witch and Monica Rambeau go with him, or if it's just him and Hannibal, and and maybe Sarah, his secretary, because. Sure, why not? I like this book on the sense that it is interesting to see an Avengers book that is, and again, it's just this weird aspect of it where they're like, oh, the only person that would be in there will be someone on monitor duty. It's like, yes, but it's also the one that turns into laser beams. Maybe your intel is not very good, Dracula.
Well, yeah, and again, it's like, well, maybe they don't know who it is. Well, yeah, you might luck out against the Captain America, but again, like we see, if it's Captain Marvel, if it's Thor, yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know if Thor pulls monitor duty very much, though. And, and not for nothing, do you really want to deal with Hawkeye and he putting arrows through your heart? That's the thing. It's like that guy's... Really, if you think about it, like, Hawkeye is like the one that vampires fear most. Because he will shoot it where you're going to be, and he is just that good. And, so yeah, I don't know. I just think that I think Dracula, big nerd that he is, did not plan this raid well. I think his general plan was okay, but way too... Like, it was more than it needed to be. The whole get an army of derelicts to bum rush the Avengers compound.
I mean, when you get that old and that evil, I mean, does the ego just inflate to an incalculable level?
It is possible. Oh, but just being old and evil.
Hey,
and having an ego.
I was gonna say it works for half of Congress.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say for half of the Avengers. So we got three books that are arguably Avengers related this week.
Yes. And remind me, I want to talk some new free comic book day stuff. But yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, four. If you got 4 today, if you went and got your extra book. I was busy shopping like a nerd.
They might still have some left when you go to the shop on your regular Wednesday trip, yeah.
Yeah, they will. Well, what do you want to talk? Do you want to talk Iron Man, Maestro, or Avengers Forever?
Yeah, let's talk Iron Man first. Iron Man 19, the wrap up to that whole Korvac thing.
Yeah. So first off, you know what I love about this book?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it is literally just Tony, like, being like, yeah, I get it, dude. I'm way too hungover for this fight right now, but I can still see that, man, you are just so afraid of everything. And it is literally just like, you always hit the edge. He's like, hey, man, I'm one to talk. I'm always in armor,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's like, when's the last time you've been fully human? He's like, you always got to transform. You get transformed into something, yeah.
Yeah, and it is such a great, like, it's just a talk story, and I love a good talking story.
Oh yeah,
and it is just, and then again, it is Korvac returning. God returned from the dead, so evil and so powerful, and I will destroy you now, Tony Stark. And Tony Stark is like, what? And throws up on his shoes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a bad issue. It's a pretty good issue. I mean, we don't see the armor once in this issue, just on the cover.
No. Yeah, he took it off, man. Yeah. Because he didn't have the armor. He let go of his powers, and then everything just became fully human, and he just sort of fell apart,
Mm-hmm.
He was going through morphine withdrawal, which is going to be fun. And, this is the thing. It's like, that as it gets down to it, it's just, he can only beat him when he's like this,
Mm-hmm.
Like either and that is the thing that I think he reached Korvac. And it's interesting because Korvac is still alive at the end of this. He lets go of his power as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony kind of.
So I don't know if he's going to be able to get that back. And then he just beats the ever-loving, Wednesday out of poor Tony.
Yeah.
And then takes him to the hospital.
Yeah, we got.
We see the little shooting star in the background.
Yeah, there's like 3 completely textless pages. Yeah, he just Korvac after he beats him, just picks him up, takes him to the hospital. Even Tony's like, I don't know why he did it.
Yeah. And we get this, and it's interesting. You sort of get the impression that Korvac maybe killed himself.
Yeah, because
but actually the next,
well, he climbs up to the roof. Yeah, and then you see a foot come off the roof.
See the foot of the edge, but then when we turn from the other one, that is actually his perspective looking out. So it's not like looking at him no longer on top of the building.
Yeah,
it's actually just from his perspective out. So, did he take his own life? Did he step back? We don't know. That's something some other writer will decide to deal with later. And then Tony, of course, goes to
rehab.
And Patsy, our Patsy, we love Patsy, picks him up in a Pinto, which actually, Tony says, actually, this is a pretty cool car. If you don't know, it's actually a pretty cool car.
Yeah.
And then I love the note for him from Eugene.
Frogman. Yes.
Frogman lives. I really want to know if that's going to be Sony's next film. I really hope it is. I don't know if they have the rights to characters that premiered in Marvel Team Up, but
oh yeah, because Marvel Team Up was a Spider-Man book. Yeah, I don't know. Hey Sony, do that before El Muerto. Frogman.
Yeah, Frogman would be cool, man. Frogman's a cool character. He once teamed up with Toad, and I think him and the Steel Spider, and it was him, Steel Spider, and Toad, and they went by the Misfits or the Rejects.
Yeah, I think they were cool. Yeah.
And next issue we see this Patsy Iron Man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming back, so I'm here for it.
Yes.
And then there's Maestro.
Yes, Maestro.
Hulk original Avenger, folks.
World War M number 3. Yes.
Yeah, and this is. We also find out that what is he? The Chancellor, or
yes, the minister.
The minister is actually Toro.
Yes, Jim Hammond. You think that's going to come back? You think that's going to get mentioned again?
I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
I think it's the first time it's been revealed. But I mean, with Jim Hammond in the story, you think it's going to come up?
I figured it has to.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm wondering, was that something that Peter David always intended for that character?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so, because I think Toro was dead at the time. But I was like, well, since we did bring Toro back from the dead in other comics, which is always the best part about comic writers who actually read comics.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that was a cool thing that guy did. So this is something else we're going to do. We see that, poor old Doom, he's trying to he's trying to tell everyone we need to destroy the Hulk. And I love Abomination in this. Abomination, this makes you feel for good old Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Namor just sitting there chatting, getting drunk. And, Abomination's just like, man, I don't know why we do any of this stuff, And it gets to this point, that it was just futile. It was all futile. And of course we get Namor waking up his old friend, and Abomination coming to confront Maestro, and Maestro just beating the holy hand grenade out of him. Like, Abomination throws the first punch, and then it's just,
I mean, I find it interesting, the whole Abomination thing, where it's like, it's the end of the world. Good guys, bad guys. It's like, it's...
Yeah. And it is literally just, what are we fighting for?
Yeah.
What is the point of all of this fighting? What are we actually fighting about? And Abomination just don't care.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like, what's the point? Our whole world is dead. What's there worth fighting for? And of course, it's... Oh, what was this character's... What's the whale's name again?
Oh, the giant sea monster. Yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since he ate the thing. See, you know what's sad about all these stories is we know how the Maestro story ends.
Yes.
You know, really, the only real question is anyone just going to let him be and leave him alone? You know?
Or is he going to defeat everybody? Yeah, it's like... That, I don't know, that's my problem.
Like, he can defeat anyone, but it's like, it's sort of like Abomination. If he beats up Abomination, it's like, he could kill Abomination, but, you know, what's the point? That's the Abomination would say, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Our other Avengers book out this week is Avengers Forever #5.
Yep.
Boy, man, if you think Doctor Strange is full of himself.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, Dr. Doom, the worst of all Dooms. This is the Doom that makes Otto Von Doom looks kind of cool. You know? Yeah, and of course, you know, it defeats there's a world of man-things that the Masters of Multiversal Evil defeat. And they go into their big squabbling and fighting. And immediately, you know, but you can tell, I think that and again, like all groups of villains, they're going to start to tear each other apart. Because clearly this is the whole big origin of Doom story. And what we see is that this is a Doom who made his armor out of Valeria, his girlfriend, not the Richard Shout, although he probably murdered her too. And we find that what he does is he steals the Dooms from this world, makes them know how evil he really is, and that he has basically, after he defeats a world, he gets bored with it. You know, that basically time after time, no matter how much you enjoy it, it eventually becomes blasé. And this is, you know, if you recall, the Doctor Doom that sold his soul, such as it is, to some demons to have the mystical power he would have had if he had focused on magic instead of science.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, he has to sacrifice his one love, Valeria. Now, of course, in that case, if you recall correctly, the whole reason he lost his powers was because he refused to acknowledge that he needed someone else to give him these powers.
Mm-hmm.
And he still is not sacrificing. Because now he just goes universe to universe sacrificing Dooms.
Yes.
You know, he either enslaves Dooms or he sacrifices Dooms, all to gain more and more mystical power because he's living on credit, man. And this is why I get the feeling. Want to hear my crazy fan theory?
Sure.
Philip? I think Otto Octavius, mark my words, Otto Octavius is going to be the big hero resolution to the whole Mephisto and Avengers Forever storyline. That he's going to be the one person who tricks Mephisto, because he's the one guy who's going to outsmart Mephisto and Doctor Doom. And that, because he's the one variable that no one is taking into account, because no one is considering him. But he knows stuff is up, and so he's watching, he's thinking, he's biding his time.
I mean, unless it's unless it's Mephisto's big nemesis, Franklin Richards.
Yeah, that could be it too. We do know the Beyonders coming back too. And,
yes,
you know they have some issues. So, do you think that the living planet Doom was from a world where every planet was a living planet but had variants, so that there was like a Fantastic Four Reed Richards planet?
Maybe. Is it like Cars everywhere? Everyone's a car? Yeah, maybe. I'm
guessing so. I like what they're doing with the variants. I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cute. Next issue, enter Vibranium Man.
Yes.
So that should be fun.
I believe that's a. That's a T'Challa. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on my Avengers Forever. This is actually the first time I've actually read the book as it came out.
Yeah. This one was kind of like a self-contained one, so it was a nice one to jump in on. Yeah.
It was very good, very enjoyable, and I I liked it a lot. I think I will continue reading. Is this a miniseries or is it an ongoing?
I don't know, because let me see if I can look at that.
Because I know it ties back into what's going on in the Avengers right now, I believe.
Yeah, because like the first 4 was like Robbie Reyes and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like it, Philip. All right.
I mean, the solicits go up to at least 8, so.
Okay. Well, I'll keep on reading it. I'm enjoying where it's going, and we'll talk about it here on Avengers Declassified.
I would assume as long as the Avengers story's going on, maybe.
Anyway.
All right.
So, any final Avengers thoughts tonight, Phil? As we think about all the Avengery. I'll
just throw out the free comic book day issue. The Judgment, the Judgment Day, Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals, because I believe the whole thing about this is going to be, I think the Eternals are going to see the X-Men as maybe deviants. So I don't know if it's going to be like a big X-Men Eternals war with the Avengers stuck in the middle.
What is up with these Eternals?
I don't know.
So judgy.
Because I guess Cersei was saying it's like kind of encoded in their DNA. It's like they have to go after Eternals at a certain point. It's like out of their control. Well, they do. They do like a flashback where like back in prehistoric times, 2 of the Eternals talk. Odin of those prehistoric Avengers. He's like, oh yeah, we found like this monkey that has like telepathic powers. We have to destroy that. This race can't keep that power and have it evolve over the millions of years. That's all going to be good.
Do they kill the monkey? Or
yes,
does Odin
they do.
Protect the monkey?
No, they do. No. They give Odin a drink, and he's like,
do kill the monkey?
They give Odin a drink. He's like, yeah, do what you want.
Yeah.
Well, again, Odin's not a good person.
Don't kill the monkey. But we see, time and time again, we see that psychic power stuff that evolves regardless. Remember when the Moloid had the psychic powers?
Yes.
And that was in the X-Men crossover of Evolutionary War, and Apocalypse and what's his name? The High Evolution. We're having that debate about. It's like you're trying to just kill people that you think are this, but you don't know where that mutation is going to come, and when it comes, you will not be able to stop it.
Yes. Oh, they did have
you do my work for me, High Evolutionary.
Oh, they did have a 4-page story in here too. I guess coming this fall, we're going to get Bloodline, Daughter of Blade.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yes, Blade has a daughter.
I wonder what he was up to. Yeah. Oh, and only very tangentially Avengers related. Although she was in the Great Lakes Avengers, I just heard the drop for the new Squirrel Girl radio show. That was fun.
Okay. Really?
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be on my Stitcher, so. Because it premieres on Sirius, but I think it's distributed out through Stitcher as well.
Okay. But, no, I was going to say, I almost forgot. Yeah, in the Spider-Man issue, there's like what is this, like 3 or 4 page preview of, there's going to be All Out Avengers coming soon. Did you see that series that when they solicited it?
All Out Avengers?
All Out Avengers. Yeah, I guess it's like, it's mostly going to be action. Like, they'll like jump into like a middle of a battle, because it opens up with like Captain America and Iron Man battling some creature, but like the last 2 pages we see in this preview, She-Hulk and She-Hulk's battling Ulick the Troll, or Ulick or Ulick, yeah,
Ulick and She-Hulk.
Yeah. Until Thor comes in and like decks him, and the Troll's like, "Why'd you hit me with that hammer?" He's like, "That was no hammer, that was my fist."
I thought they were trying to work on like softening up the Trolls recently.
I don't know, but
or maybe Ulick's just back to being evil. That's the thing. They've been doing that lately, where they've been like saying, a lot of these villains, they're actually just dudes, that were just they were the superheroes for their people. That it's like the Abomination. He was a KGB guy. He was fighting for Mother Russia and all this kind of stuff. People say he was the hero. Just because you don't see him as the hero, that doesn't mean they're not the hero. And look, he is the Thor of trolls, so he has his purpose in all of this.
There's a ad in the back of this too. I guess there's another podcast that said the history of Marvel Comics. I guess there's a Black Panther special podcast because it says Where's this? The definitive tell-all podcast of the incredible comic book journey of T'Challa.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it says the history of Marvel Comics Black Panther. So,
I wonder if it's going to be a radio play or if it's going to be like, Marvel's handbook to the official handbook to the Marvel Universe, where they're just going to have, creator interviews and discussions.
Okay, full season available now on the SiriusXM app, Marvel Podcasts Unlimited on Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast.
Well, there we go. So I will listen to it where I listen to my favorite podcast.
Ooh, we had a lot of Avengers news. We had a lot of new Avengers stuff this time.
Yeah, well, good thing you went to Free Comic Book Day to find all this.
Yes.
All right, Phil. Is that all for tonight?
I think so, but let me give the kids the homework for next week.
Oh, yes. What is our homework for next week?
I'm pretty sure I know this, but let me double check, because, again, we have this mapped out for a couple months, kids.
I believe it was Avengers.
Yes, here it is. Yes, Avengers 185 through 187, yes. Speaking of Scarlet Witch.
The secret origin
of
Scarlet Witch and Pietro.
And Wondergore, yes.
Back to Wondergore.
Yes, so.
Oh, maybe we'll see Bova. See, that's what I was missing.
I think she might be in that story, yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanted her in Multiverse of Madness, too. And like I said, we don't know what we're going to get yet, man. Don't think it's over.
I know.
It's never over.
Oh, and hey, kids, if you want the comic book background on the Illuminati, come back in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Everyone will be asking questions about that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Do you want me to do the plugs?
Yeah, do the plugs.
Okay.
Do the plugs. Now, I'm just trying to think what's in 2 weeks that has to do with the Illuminati, so I'm just confused.
Oh, remember we're doing New Avengers, the Illuminati special miniseries.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. See, we have it planned out. I just forgot.
That's why I keep the schedule, so I don't forget. Yes, all right, kids. So, send your thoughts on...
yes, he's in charge. He's the boss.
Yes, Avengers 185 through 187 next week, and then New Avengers, the Illuminati miniseries the week after. So, send all your thoughts and questions. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Yes, and you can follow Avengers Declassified on Facebook, on Twitter, all the social medias for all the shows we do. The YouTube channel, again, everything we do gets a video up there. Most important, the Patreon, $3 to $5 gets you exclusive access to early access to creator interviews, Mr. DG Chichester every month, and the superhero movie brackets. So all the Marvel episodes are up there now. So yes, subscribe to get that, or get yourselves Capes and Lunatics merchandise, cups, t-shirts, phone cases, and more. So, yes, everything is at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and
And, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Thank you, Mozzie. All right.
All right, friends. Come to the end of another episode where we have seen the answers. The stories hidden in Avengers Declassified.
And make sure you check out Capes and Lunatics episode 260 for our Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness review.
I liked it.
And it's not Avengers, but you were talking about live tweeting. Did you see Tuesday's the 2-hour season finale of Naomi?
No, but I guess I will. I mean,
I think, I think it'll be like 8 to, because Superman and Lois is off, so I think it'll be 8 to 10. Yeah. All right,
so great, 2 hours of all that.
Come back next week and assemble, or assemble next week.
Hi, I'm Russell,
and I'm Justin,
and we're from the
Hold up, listen up, you nerds. Tired of being a little goody two shoes? Had enough of always talking about acts of courage and heroism? Well, you have come to the right place, I guess. Tomes of Evil is the comic book supervillain podcast, where every month we do a deep dive on a different comic book supervillain, as well as multiple sub-series on some of the most iconic foes of all time, including Darkseid, Doctor Doom, Scarecrow, and...
Named Hobgoblin, and you're right on time for your funeral.
I better be getting paid for this. So what are you guys waiting for? Bring on the bad guys.
Tomes of Evil, a comic book villain podcast.